Hello. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's been so long that I forgot what I was doing. Give me just a minute. Okay, so what I was gonna do is one of the biggest sewing things I've ever done before. Was to take all my high school shirts and take I'm not gonna wear these anymore. They don't fit and they're dated. I'm like wearing shirts with dates on them because they're not. It's not the same year it was. I graduated in 2018, and none of my high school shirts fit me anymore, and I'm not gonna wear the ones that do fit. So I was gonna take them, cut them apart, cut off like the part with the design into 1 foot by 1 foot squares, and sew them into a quilt. The way I could keep them with me, but not have to have them taking up room in my closet because I don't wear them. So, hold on. I just recorded a whole segment and wasn't even actually recording it. I was just talking to myself. Much like I'm doing now, except for it wasn't being documented. Anyways, this box, it's a pretty big box. And I was saying, should I stop here and take a picture for the thumbnail when I realized I wasn't recording, which I think I will do somehow. There, done. I will somehow screenshot it later. I'm going to cut this box in a 1 foot by 1 foot square like I said before. And I'm going to use that as the template for my shirts so that I get all the panels the same size. Okay, now I can show you why I was saying that. These are some of the school shirts I have. I put them in a trash bag. I was originally going to put them in the garage, but I didn't like the idea of them just sitting and going to waste. Like, I'm not going to wear them, not necessarily because they don't fit at all, because I mean, obviously I'm a big person. I don't mind saying fat, 'cause that's what it is. But I don't like saying that. But these shirts fit to the point of where they are too snug for what I like to wear. I prefer looser fitting clothing. It's just easier to move in. I don't think anybody likes restrictive clothing. And I don't like wearing shirts that are dated. Like this one says 12 years of hassle for a 2018 tassel. It's no longer 2018. Also on the front it says 2018. So I'm gonna first cut the shirts in half, like down the seam. So when I'm cutting the front, I don't accidentally cut the back, because a lot of the words usually on shirts in the back are higher up than like the logos in the front. At least on these ones they are. Well, they're about the same. I can kind of see it through. The words and the top of the hat are about the same. But I don't want to cut through both sides at the same time because I'm sure I will botch something. And so I have even a shirt back from middle school that I think part of the reason I don't wear this one is because it has this weird mysterious stain on the back. I don't know what that is, but also, I hope he never sees this. I don't think he will. I found out last year or the year before, one of my favorite teachers in middle school was arrested for domestic violence. And I'm like, oh, why did you do that? I personally, I don't know how I feel. Like, I wasn't there, obviously. I don't really know what happened, but he was such a nice guy. But that's just a reflection of what social media is. You only see what we show you. You know, you don't see everything that goes on in our life. But then as I was thinking about what they said happened in the case, I do remember this one time when I was in middle school, way back. This just happened recently, like a few years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago. He was really upset at work, so at school, and he had just told some of us, like, he just found out his girlfriend had been cheating, and he was like unnecessarily mad. So maybe it did happen. Who am I to say it didn't? But he's only in his 30s. He's just thrown away his whole life, and that's the part that makes me sad, because he was so talented. He had won so many awards in the district for best music teacher, best teacher of the year. But it only goes to show, oh look, I got distracted, I will go back to that. It only goes to show that things are not what they appear at all times. I filled in the space that I had all the stuffed animals in with the Care Bears blanket. It is way smaller than it looks like it is. In person, it's actually pretty big. That space is pretty big. It's about 5 or so feet from the edge of the llama poster. So, yeah. Anyways, I am going to cut out the box, cut up the shirts. I might start sewing it later. Oh, also, I don't even know where they are. I had a pair of, you know how if you're a lady with bigger legs, your pants split in the thighs before they ruin anywhere else? I go through pants very fast because of that singular issue, especially at work. My work pants, I fly through pairs of black jeans like that. And it's annoying because pants are expensive, like $20 for a pair of pants. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up that pair of jeans because the rest of the fabric is still good. You can only patch so much in a pair of jeans, so I'm going to cut up the rest of the fabric, and I'm going to start using it as patches in my other jeans that will eventually wear out. That way I don't have to buy like scrap fabric, I'll just have it already. Good plan. Okay. Hi, it's still me. You're not going to be able to see my face because the camera's down too far, but I invested in this craft knife set from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use that to cut up this box. I have a box cutter, but I feel like this will be... Really? I feel like this will be more precise in a way because the blades are a lot smaller. And I'll probably use... What would you ever use this blade for? It's so, like, thin and flat for, like, carving or shaving. Is that what you would use this kind of blade for? I don't know. I think I'm going to use this one. Why is it fuzzy? I think I'm going to use this one. What is that, a one blade? Number one blade? I think I'm going to use this one. So oh my goodness, sorry. I was trying to use this, and it is not sturdy enough to cut through the wood, so I'm going to use an actual box cutter. My industrial size one that I have, that I use at work, is in my car, and I don't really feel like going outside right now, so we're just going to put this away. We're not going to use this one today. You know how people were complaining that at the Dollar Tree the prices went up $1.25 an item? I was one of those people because I love shopping at the Dollar Tree. But the fact that the prices went up means that they could bring so much more like advanced stuff in there. And I've seen a lot of like Cricut stuff, like the sticker makers and stuff, like the vinyl. If you bought the Cricut at Hobby Lobby or Michael's or wherever you shop for your craft stuff, and then you bought all your supplies at the Dollar Tree, I think I just cut my finger with the box, you would save so much money if it was like good quality crafting material versus having to buy it all at the craft store, you know? So I have changed opinions on Dollar Tree raising their prices because they've brought in so much better quality stuff than they used to have when everything was $1. And I am grateful for that because I love shopping at the Dollar Tree. Let's see. For once, I'm not cutting towards myself. That's amazing. Okay. The rest of that is trash. Or it's going to be working with this. Hopefully. Okay, it's a little less than a foot. I'll survive. But I do want it to be a foot this way. Or I guess I should make it even, huh? Okay. So, I'm gonna need... I'll just use a pen, I suppose. Get rid of this extra flap. It's just gonna get in the way. So, I don't necessarily know what I'm doing. I've never made a quilt before. I just know that I can sew stuff in a straight line. That I can do. Hello, it's editing me. Please enjoy this picture of this really cute parrot plushie I saw at Walmart today, as I explained to you very briefly how I did not have any idea what I was doing, but I seem to be very good with visualizing things and making it happen, in the sense that I can write out, like, I don't know if you guys follow my art. Not art. I don't consider crocheting to be art. Is that strange? I have like an Instagram page and I post all the things I crochet to, but I wrote 2 patterns that are quite possibly the most complex thing I've ever made in my time crocheting, and I just made them without like hesitation, the patterns, not looking into any research beforehand. Like, I just saw it and I put it on paper and then I made it into a thing. And I surprised myself. The same with this. I've sewn stuff together before in square panels, but never to this size, and never with like patterned. I don't really know how to explain it, but like I'm very good at seeing it in my mind and making it happen, which is one of the things my brain can actually do correctly, which is amazing. I'm pretty okay with doing that myself. I really wanted to buy a piece of foam, but I don't want to go all the way to the craft store today. Oh my gosh, this piece of cardboard is exactly a foot wide. Just not counting like the extra piece of acrylic. From the 0 mark to the last 12 mark, it's exactly a foot. So if I do that from here, so like I don't have a quilting press, or not a press, why would I say press? A frame that people use to make quilts on. I don't know if I should use scissors or box cutters for this. You know, like the giant frames that they put the quilts on the fabric so they can keep it taut. Basically like a giant embroidery hoop. I don't have one of those. So I'm going to have to work with what I have, which is a tiny little, like the TV dinner tables. And my, I think my sewing machine is a Brother, the brand. Okay, somehow I'm stupid and still didn't measure it right. I measured to the end of the ruler, which is not exactly a foot. I have to measure a little shorter there, right here. You cannot see what I'm doing. Would it help if you could see what I was doing? I'm trimming I'm trimming the cardboard to be exactly 1 foot by 1 foot. This is where I wanted to just buy a foam square, but I didn't want to go, like I said, I didn't want to go all the way to the craft store. So I didn't. I think on this board I could just use scissors. Not tiny scissors. Hold on. So, if you go to Walmart, look in the craft section, look for the 10-pack of scissors. It's about $10, so $1 a pair of scissors. It comes with so many different types of scissors. It's definitely worth investing in if you do a lot of crafting with scissors. It doesn't come with like the angled ones that people use to cut fabric, like where the blades, instead of being straight, they kind of drop down and then come out, so you can cut on a table without having to break your wrist to cut on a table. Those I feel like would be very handy if you were someone who consistently worked with fabric as your medium. Okay, a foot that way. And this is not even, so this, like, it's cut not even where I cut it with a box cutter, so I wanted to straighten this out from this flattest point right here, like this. This is probably going to be really boring. You can just skip ahead if you want to. This video is probably going to be pretty long. Or I'll just skip ahead for you. I'll come back to you when I'm done with this. Okay, I was going to originally show you like the process of cutting the shirts. That's still going to take forever. I'm not going to do that. So I'll just tell you. What I'm going to do is, since I said I already don't want to cut through both layers, I'm going to cut the shirts up the side. Like cut off the sleeves and just make them like rectangle panels, and then cut the front and the back separately. And then obviously the shirts are not all the same color, but for the ones that are the same color, like the black ones, I'm gonna have to probably safety pin them together so I know which panels go where. I will think about the shirt layout when I get there. I don't know if I want like fronts and backs to be next to each other, or like front and then back. I don't know how many shirts I have. I'll figure it out when I get there. I might have to end up taking a shirt out or putting another one in, just some black fabric or whatever color fabric, because I don't know if I have an even amount of shirts to make an even amount of panels. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, I think the only shirt I'm not going to, you can see I've got some of them behind me. The only shirt I'm not going to cut is my my choir shirt, because it's a polo shirt and I think the buttons would get in the way, so I'm going to leave this one as is. I might honestly just donate it back to the school, that way someone can have it that is in choir now. I don't think we paid for these. I think they were funded by the school. If my mom paid for it, I'm going to keep it because this is money. If not, I'm going to think about it. Maybe I'll remember, maybe I won't. But I'm pretty sure I'm just going to keep this one as it is. It's pretty plain, so it's not like I'm losing a lot of design or anything. This shirt holds a lot of memories in it. When we went down to, so I'm in California, right? We went down to Knott's Berry Farm to do a choir festival. That was so fun. Oh my gosh. And we just got to spend the rest of the day at Knott's Berry Farm for free, because the school paid for the tickets for us to go, or the program that was holding the festival might have paid for the tickets, I'm not sure. For free, for us. All we had to do was bring money for food, and that was so fun. I had great memories with some of my friends that I don't talk to anymore there, so this shirt has been salvaged. Just stay the way it is. So basically what I'm doing for every shirt is I'm cutting it up the sides to the sleeves. I'm basically making half a shirt. And then I'm gonna put the cardboard stencil, cut out the square, and the rest will go into the scrap fabric pile. And I'm trying to keep both halves of the shirt together. So like this, obviously I know which shirt these will be too, because these are like the only two colored shirts. The rest of them are kind of black, because that was my school colors was black and gold. So like for this one that I'm gonna do next, yeah, the neck is all like, this shirt is old. It's got holes in it, and I think this was my first band shirt there at Foothill. It says halftime is our time, and then it's got all of our names. This is how big the band was when I started freshman year. Tiny. The band was tiny compared to some of the other divisions of bands there. I don't even think this will fit under my square. I hope it does. If not, I might have to make a bigger square just for this shirt. Plus, I'm gonna allot some room for a seam when I obviously sew them together, so it'll work out, I promise. I hope. I hope. Okay. This shirt that I just finished cutting, I guess I did not have as many school shirts as I thought I did, which makes sense because I never really had very much school spirit. I forgot to cut part of it. Apparently it's still attached and it shouldn't be, so. This shirt. So this was, I think, my sophomore year. Hey. Stop. In 2016, my sophomore year. It's gonna be backwards for you. Chloe. Let me show you. Hold on. Okay, this is better. The teacher that I had spent so long trying to find someone to make these shirts for us at a reasonable price because our band wasn't that big. And he finally found someone, and they came that night at band practice to deliver the shirts with this giant typo on them. Excuse me, I burped there. And I went over to the teacher, like, we're all so excited to finally get our shirts because they looked really cool on the other side. And I was like, hey, Mr. Insert teacher name here. This has a typo on it. He was fuming. He like ran over to that guy and like grabbed his shoulder, and he's like, we spent so much money on these shirts and you couldn't even make sure there wasn't any typos. And they felt really bad. They offered to remake them for us, but the teacher didn't want to have to pay for them again, so we have our misspelled shirts. But I'm still going to include it just because it has all these other words on it. No one's going to see it but me. It's going to stay in my room, so it doesn't bother me. It didn't bother me then. Doesn't bother me now. But I can't even talk. Sorry. It doesn't bother me now. So I'm going to keep it. And then this is what the front of the shirt, of that same shirt with the misspelling, looked like, because this was the year we did our show about zombies, I think. I just realized that this is a dove holding an olive branch, which is from the Bible. Which is ironic because our one teacher was very adamantly not anything to do with church. Like, it was the same teacher we had for jazz band one year, and he's like, we're not going to play in this key because it sounds too churchy. And I was like, what's wrong with churchy? There's nothing wrong with church music. At least it's clean and it's not filthy like the music of the world is. My teacher was weird. I didn't like him. But I do like this shirt, so I'm going to include it. So I came to my cap and my gowns from both middle school and high school, and I'm not going to cut those up. I have my cords in here that I wore the night of graduation. Not cutting those up. This is going to stay just like it is. I don't think there's anything else in there. This teal one is my middle school one, and then this my cap and my gown. Cap and then the gown from high school. Those are going to stay in the bag. We're not touching those. So I now have all my shirts cut up into halves, and I'm gonna start cutting them with this, except for I'm not gonna do it on my desk because there's not enough room. I'll probably have to move to the floor. Hopefully not, but I'll probably have to. Alright, I decided to go for a 4x3 layout on some. I did have to go a little wider than the square, specifically these two and this one, to get all of the words. This one too, but only a little on the side, so they're not all the same size. Like you can see, definitely these two are way not the same size, so I might have to sew some scrap fabric to the edge of this to make up for the difference, or I might just make it work when I sew it, and I'll line it up the best I can. But this is going to be my layout. I think I might switch the stern one down here. I feel like that's just too much black together. I think I might. Okay, I think that's a little better. I think I might leave it like this. For this sharp one, I got really close to the letters of my name. So I'm gonna have to sew very carefully just to make just like the tiniest seam on that one. I was kind of cutting these out pretty quickly. I didn't really care how they came out because I'm gonna sew them together anyways. But I hope it comes out good because I actually want to be able to keep it and not feel like this was a waste of time. Okay, after many hours of sewing later, you can kind of see where I did have to accidentally cross over the letters, but it's alright because it's for me, so it's okay. And how it's not even, I don't know how it ended up not being even. And then I'm gonna have to find something to sew it to. I don't know if I'm gonna put batting in it or not. Probably not. I don't know. I'll have to look into it. I'll have to look up some people who have made quilts and do some research next. Apparently when I decided to take on this project, I forgot how tedious sewing was. So there were some areas where they didn't end up being like the same size, so in some I did have to sew on extra pieces of fabric to accommodate for the difference. The way I sewed them was first I sewed like top and bottom, so top and bottom of the same shirt. And then I sewed, once I got all those sewed together, I sewed them side by side the way that I had them laid out. And then once I got all 6 sewn and then all 6 bottom ones sewn, I sewed them together. You can see here where I had to add an extra scrap of fabric down the side. And so this difference is okay, I can just trim it off to match, but I had to add down the whole side of these 2 shirts, I had to add a difference to accommodate for it. Very strange, but I did it. This is only the beginning. There's still other stuff to do. So that will come in the future. Maybe a part 2, I don't know. Also, the blanket on the wall is bugging me because of the gap. Let's see, I'm not used to putting on a on the phone. This gap right here is really bugging me. So I try not to look at it. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'll see you again eventually, soon, hopefully. So now that that's all done, I'm gonna sit here with my scrap fabric pile. These are the jeans I was talking about earlier. I've patched as far as patch can go. The patch on this side has fallen off. This is my attempt at gluing a patch on. I've tried liquid stitch. I've tried every fabric glue out there you can think of. I've probably tried it. Are you breakdancing up there? Are you okay? And so I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna cut all of this into reasonably sized squares that I will use in the future to patch things. I'm not looking forward to this, but I'm going to do it just because I don't like throwing away the fabric. It can be used, and I do want to salvage it. Even if it's 10, 15 years before I do actually use it for something, I still want to save it. Okay, I will see you eventually. Hello. It is now several hours later. Several hours since I finished cutting the scrap fabric, I've finished crocheting a thing. It's back there. It's a panel for a sweatshirt. Oh, my nose itches. All of the scrap fabric is in this bag right here for my work that I am not picking up and taking out again because I am not taking it out for a 3rd time to show you. I'll just tell you that the stack of scrap fabric is this big, and it's gonna last me eons because I don't sew a lot because it's tedious and I don't like doing it unless I have to. I have a sewing machine, but I by and large prefer hand sewing than taking out the sewing machine and plugging it in and loading the bobbin and messing with the spindle of no thank you. I prefer hand sewing when it is practical. Like, obviously for this big thing I'm going to use a sewing machine because I'm not going to sit for hours and hours and hours and sew all those panels by hand. No, I think my hand would fall off. So what I want to do is I want to get some, like the fleece blankets, I want to get some of those, or like a twin size flat sheet, just so that the shirt panel to take the shirt panel sheet combo and sew that onto a fleece blanket I don't know, I still don't know if I'm going to put batting in it, because honestly I don't know how expensive it is. I'm not like invested in this project. I just want to do it and get it done. I'm not someone that likes to drag out projects, because then they don't get finished. They either just sit in my room unfinished, or they get taken apart, or they get thrown away, because I don't have motivation to do 7 different things at once. That's why all of these all these unread books are sitting on my bed, because I don't have motivation to read them. Anyways, I will see you when I have gathered these supplies to complete the quilt, which is probably going to end up being more of a blanket than a quilt. Quilt has like very specific meaning to me, like with the type of fabric that's used. I don't know why. Now I have to do research into what a quilt really is. Because couldn't a quilt just technically be called a blanket? Also, my stomach has been upset all day. I don't know why, just hurting for no reason. Not enough to complain about, not enough to take medicine for, just enough to be annoying off and on all day. Like, we're angry. I don't know why. Also, I don't know why my nose won't quit itching. Okay, I will show you the sweatshirt. I was editing the video for this. This is about to surpass 3 minutes. In 4, 3, 2, 1. This clip is now 3 minutes long. And the video's already 30 minutes. So 33 minutes of not really accomplishing much. I guess you could say that that's much. Cutting the shirts apart was a little more tedious than I thought it would be, but we're past that now. I'm turning this into a sweatshirt. I still have to make the other panel. I love this yarn. I like the color schematic of it. I think scheme was the right word. Like blue and green, and then like cream? What color would you call that? Hay? Cream? I don't know. I don't know, man. I just crocheted it. And then somewhere in this mess of clothes and Nintendo Switch and blankets, oh, here they are the sleeveys. This sweatshirt is custom tailored to fit me, so if I gave it away, it probably would not fit anybody else. The sleeves are custom fit to my wrist for the cuff, to my arm for the sleeve, to my body for the panels. I love crocheting. If you want to pick up a medium, crocheting. Knitting is too hard for me because I'm a simpleton, and I have 2 brain cells left, and they are fighting for attention. So, sorry, I'm trying to scratch my leg. I'm sorry. Crocheting is good to pick up. I would also recommend cross stitch embroidery. I was gonna say reading, but that's not a craft. What I really want to try, this is just me rambling because I don't have any friends, so if you don't want to watch this, feel free to skip ahead. This is an ink pad. This is not even what I meant to pick up. Okay, stamp making is what I was gonna say if I can't even find one. This I got, all my craft stuff comes from Hobby Lobby, sometimes Michael's. Okay, hold on. So, when I crochet nowadays, it's mostly for commissions. And so I wanted to make like little like cargo tags, like these ones, with this thank you stamp. And then I got one that says handmade. Yeah, handmade by. There was also one that said crafted by. I don't know why I don't like the word crafted. I like handmade better. So I bought this one. Handmade by. And I also have this one. It says totally handmade, and it's a frog. The frog does not have flowers on it, thank God. I don't like flowers. I could not find these in paper. I was hoping I could. So I got these wooden ones that I will use as a template or a stencil to cut them out of this. My nose. Out of this giant pack of paper I have purchased also from Hobby Lobby. This is the one that I was talking about that I found also at the I don't even know what I've said, this video is so long now, but I remember at least once talking about how I saw this pack of paper at the Dollar Tree for $6 less than what I paid for it at Hobby Lobby. I was a little upset. Anyways, I want to start making thank you tags to put on the stuff that I sell, because all of my coworkers are encouraging me to raise my prices. They think that I undercharge, and I think that they're right, because I feel guilty asking for people's money when I know that we live in a society where everything is overpriced and making ends meet is hard. So I feel bad taking people's money, but crocheting is not cheap. Yarn can get very expensive very quickly, depending on where you buy it and what brand it is. That's why I used to like to shop at Walmart before they decided that they only had to carry the bare minimum to keep the shelves full, and now they only sell like the basic colors. So now I do all my yarn shopping primarily at Michael's and Hobby Lobby, which stinks because those stores are so far from me. Like, if I ever just need to run over there, or Joann's, we have one of those here too. If I ever need to just run over there for an emergency, I can't, because it's all the way across town for me, which stinks. Okay, I'm gonna go find something else to do now. I will see you, like I said, when I have the final materials. I was gonna say ingredients. We're not eating the blanket. The final materials to finish the blanket. Good night. Okay, we're waiting for the desk light to turn on. Sometimes it takes a while. I don't know why. It takes a while sometimes. Probably because this desk is old. There we go. Okay. I should have gotten everything ready to show you before I started recording. Okay. I did find the black sheet that I wanted. I got a twin sheet from Walmart. Oh, excuse me. And then I got this. I couldn't find a black fleece blanket, so I got this tie-dye one. And I'm going to sew the shirts to this, and this is going to get sewn to here. And it should be done at that point. Now, because I don't want the raw edges visible, I'm debating if I should if I should sew a seam on here before I sew it to the blanket. I don't know, I'll figure it out. I'm not gonna do it right now though, because I have to get out the sewing machine again. I should have just left it out yesterday, honestly. And then I have some clothes that have to be patched, so I'm gonna do that after I sew those as well. And I guess I'll show you when it's done. Okay, I'm in the last stage of sewing. It is not perfect, obviously. This is my first time ever doing something like this, but I'm still proud of it. I'm glad it only took 2 days, because I didn't want it to have to drag into tomorrow when I go back to work. So, as soon as I'm done sewing, I'll put my room back together, and then I'll show you. Sewing with one hand's almost impossible, so I'm going to go pretty slowly, I guess. I lied. Just kidding. This is not slow. So I'm lining up. This is the blanket that has like the seam, so I turned the seam onto like the binding I made for this. So I'm lining them up and I'm sewing it together so that it just looks seamless here on this part. I so love having to reload my bobbin right when I am almost done with my project. I very well will admit that parts of this had me wanting to throw my sewing machine out the window, but I finished it finally. It does not look the best, but I'm very proud of it. I hate that it's uneven. How am I going to show you this? Let me back up more. So I chose like this tie-dye blanket to go in the back. And then I did, how am I supposed to pick it all the way up and show you? Let's see. So basically I sewed all of this. I sewed the sheet to this and hemmed it, and then I laid this on the blanket and I pinned it down, folded the edges over. You know how like these kinds of blankets come with the, like I showed you in the last clip, with the like the blanket stitch on them? That I folded it over. That's what folded over, the side folded over, I guess, to make it a seam. So I was able to turn a round blanket into a blanket with corners. I was trying to sew like these little flaps here shut, but for some reason my sewing machine kept like bunching up the thread. So I guess if I want them sewn shut, I'll have to do it by hand. Not looking forward to that. It's definitely not happening today if I do it at all. It's not very big. It's like the perfect size for sitting on the couch with, or decorating a bed with, which is probably what mine's going to do. The seams are a little sloppy as far as keeping the whole picture in the square, but I really don't care. You get the idea of it. This is really bugging me though. I don't even know how this happened. This uneven, whatever this is uneven right here, is bothering me. Also, I didn't sew this to the blanket, so this and the blanket is still very much two different layers, which is fine, because as long as it's sewed on the edges, we're good. So the front and the back is just this really simple. So I paid about $10 for the sheet and the blanket at Walmart. This is just like a thin fleece one, and I'm glad that it's done, more than I am proud that I did it. But it's definitely warm. Even in just a few seconds I had it laying on my lap while I was sewing it, I felt that it was pretty warm. So I'm glad that it's over. Now I can put my sewing machine away finally. That's probably how it's in this lay. Like 50% of the time just crumpled up on my bed. Also, this sheet came in like this very, not nice, but like reusable cloth bag with Velcro on it and everything. So I'm gonna have to find a purpose for this because I don't want to throw it away. This I will throw away. This is just the sticker that came on the bag that the sheet came in. I forgot all of the words of the only language I speak just then, but that's alright. So this video is officially over. I am probably going to start on the other part of the sweatshirt I showed you, the other panel, just so I can try to finish that at least tomorrow or within the next few days. So, thank you for watching if you made it to the end. Why? Why did you watch the whole thing? I was gonna say I'm proud of you. No, I'm grateful. Thank you for watching the whole thing. I think it's very interesting that to people who like to craft, the only thing about crafting to us that's innate is the desire or the need to make things. And so I'm grateful that creativity is something that comes to me naturally, and that picking up new things is something that comes to me naturally, easily as well. And I will say goodbye now, or good night, I guess. It's 11:35 p.m. I'm so glad I finished it today. Thank you for watching. Like I said, I probably won't get to make another one of these soon. That was all my school shirts, unless someone else asked me to make one for them. In that case, I would take my sweet time making it to make sure it ended up so neat. And now that I've done this one, I have like a better idea of what needs to be done to make it come out neater. Like in reality, I probably could have skipped the sheet on the back, but an extra layer adds warmth. Those shirts were pretty thin and old and tattered, so I wanted something to put behind it for that reason. And it's done. That's all I'll say. Okay, goodbye.